7 days of all access, any handicapper, every play, all for $77. Grab this special now as it expires Monday, Memorial Day at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. That includes MLB, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, soccer, golf, and even motor racing. Complete coverage with complete convenience as you receive an email immediately once your handicap releases a play, allowing you to get the best of the line. Just use coupon code FLAG77. Have an existing all access? We have you covered, as the 7 days will be added to the end of your current subscription. Best of all, this special is not limited to one per customer. Try as many cappers as you would like each day for only $11 per day.
Welcome, everybody. It's May 31st. You're watching WagerTalk Today, a Monday show. And Teddy, only one guest today, Marco D'Angelo. We're going to keep the show nice and tight, nice and short. People got things to do. Happy Memorial Day. I don't know what you're memorializing, but I want to hear all about it.
We're memorializing fallen soldiers. And today's the day we remember all those who sacrificed their lives so we can live in freedom. So it's worthy of memory, remember.
Yes.
It's Memorial Day. But
what's
Memorial Day is most known for, of course, is barbecues and hanging out in the start of summer. So we do have an abbreviated show today. We got a good half hour. Don't you worry about it. But only one guest on today's show. We'll get you in and out in time to go enjoy your afternoon.
So, Teddy, excuse my Canadian ignorance here. Is Memorial Day different from Veterans Day? Is Memorial Day the day with the poppies?
Memorial Day is for fallen soldiers. Veterans Day is to remember all of our soldiers.
And that makes total sense. Well, happy Memorial Day, everybody. Teddy Covers, Lawrence Presman, Marco D'Angelo joining us. And Teddy, before we even get anywhere near this show, I really feel like your personality could be best summed up by the following story. I hand the mic to you, you annoying freaking schmuck.
So this was fun, of course.
Fun. This is the best time ever.
It was fun for me, mocking you. But of course, what was it that Saturday night, Prez, that the Leafs and the Habs were locked
Saturday
up?
night game goes into overtime, and I get a text.
So as the game goes into OT, after the Leafs have rallied to tie it at 2 apiece, which somehow I noticed and was paying attention to, I happened to look down at my phone. I'm like, I got to send a tweet, a message, a DM to Prez. I'm like, I'm sorry for your loss. And he texts me back. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? It just went in overtime. I'm like, yeah, but they're going to lose in overtime, and then they're going to lose game 7. So I'm sorry, and I just wanted to, apologize to you ahead of time so you have time to get it in your system.
The best part of that ridiculous text was you're literally, the best part of the text, sorry, I got all befuddled, was I'm like, Teddy, it's going to overtime. You're like, yeah, I know. I'm just apologizing ahead of time for when they lose in overtime and then they lose on Monday. So I'm very, very sorry. So I'm like, you ass. And then you respond with, I'm just trying to help, Prez.
Yeah. I was just trying to help you because I know how worked up you get on this stuff. So the more time you have to, chill on it,
prepare,
and maybe the better off you'll be. So I was just trying to help you, Prez, and apologize for obviously we know what's going to happen in game 7. It's a cursed franchise. Cursed franchises don't win game 7s. It is what it is. So I'm sorry for your Leaf fandom. And this is why it sucks to be a fan and why it's so much better to be a bettor. Because as a bettor, it might bother you for a day, but it's not going to bother you all summer. The only one that bothered me all summer was the Falcons, the Patriots Falcons.
Teddy, if the Leafs lose tonight, I will be bothered until sometime on Tuesday.
All right.
Like I get over it pretty quick, bro. I get over it pretty quick. Anyway, dude, I just got to mention, there's 2 things we got to talk about. One, your run is not done. You have 13 more wins to go to break Marco's record. There is nothing I want more in the world. I would rather you break Marco's record then the Leafs win tonight. That's how badly I don't want to hear about Marco's record anymore. 13 today. You're 13-0, right?
I'm 12-0. Let's start with this.
Oh,
you're like talking to a guy who's throwing a
14
no-hitter in the fourth inning and saying, go for it. You know,
well,
you got the no-no going. Go. Just let's not think about it. Let's not fixate on it. Let's not worry about any records. Let's worry about today. Okay, I got one play up today in MLB. You know, afternoon action.
Well, Teddy's going to win that play, and then he's going to continue his onslaught. 12-0 in baseball. Theodore covers, and then we're not bringing that ugly mug in yet. And then Carmine Bianco, dude, comes on the show twice, gives out Chelsea 14-1, hits it. So shout out to the Bianco man. Teddy, tell us about some bad beats.
Oh, yeah. What a weekend. Bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the book. A little recap of what just happened. And there was one series, the Padres-Astros, literally every game was something. Let's start with this. Friday, Padres-Astros. You have under 8.5. Let's see. It's 2-2 into the 10th. 10-3 final. Absolute screw job if you have the under in that ball game with San Diego's 10th inning outburst. Then on Saturday, Padres are minus 150, minus 155. They're trailing 6-1 in the 8th. Now, note, the Astros had won 527 consecutive home games when leading by 5 or more runs in the 8th. They hadn't lost since 1981 in that role. Then 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Houston's still up 3. Prez hasn't blown a save all year. And again, the ESPN algorithm is a bad algorithm, but 99.6 chance to win that game. 99.6 winning percentage, according to that algorithm. And of course, Presley then gives up a couple of base runners, gives up the bomb, and then Houston loses in extras. That was a brutal beat for Astros backers on Saturday. So under backers took the gas pipe on Friday. Astros backers took the gas pipe on Saturday. And then yesterday it was an almost. You know, I had the over 8.5 in that game. It's 7-0 after 3. Total's 8.5. Then all of a sudden you got Greinke pitching with a 7-run lead. He pitches the best he has all year, goes 8 strong. Musgrove comes in relief of Snell. A big part of my bet is these bullpens are dead. Well, then Musgrove comes in and he throws 5 innings of hitless ball. So it's about to land on 8. It's 7-1 in the 5th and the 6th and the 7th and the 8th. Oh my God, the reliever. It's up 7-1. Greinke finally gets pulled. You can't make this stuff up, Prez. There's a guy who comes into the game for Greinke with the 7-1 lead. You got the under. You got a half run to play with. Andre Scrub. Yeah, that was his name, Andre Scrub. He hadn't pitched a clean inning in his last 7 tries out of the bullpen. Made it 8, gave up 2 dingers. Game gets over late, 7-4 final there. Couple in the NBA worth talking about, bad beats. I don't know if this is really a bad beat. Last possession of the game, an alley-oop to Precious Achiuwa, the Heat. And Bucks game 4 guts over the total. It's not a true bad beat. It was overpaced throughout, but that last alley-oop was the difference maker. And then the Knicks-Hawks over yesterday, I got to call that one a bad beat. It was 208.5, 209, 209.5. It was bad for the books, too. Landed right on 209. And one bucket over the last 2 minutes of that game, R.J. Barrett hits a layup in the and one. He missed the and one, and then crickets the last 4 or 5 possessions. They just dribbled it out. Tough if you had the over in that one. You ended up with a push or even a half-point loss. A couple of bad bets worth noting. On Friday, Brooklyn had heavy steam. 6.5 bet up to 8.5. Tatum hung 50 on the Nets. The Celtics won that game straight up. There was Yankees money all weekend, especially yesterday. They were bet up from minus 150 to minus 190. The Yanks aren't going to get swept in Detroit, except they did get swept in Detroit. Bad bets all weekend long for the Yankees, and heavy Yankees money yesterday. Same story with the Dodgers. Dodgers got bet up heavy Friday. They got bet up heavy Saturday. You know, Friday was Bueller, minus 175 to minus $2. Saturday was Urias, minus 170 to minus 90. Gausman took a little bit of money yesterday, but the Giants pulled off the sweep. Dodgers, 14-2 start, 17-20 since. You're going broke back in that team. All the money on LA all weekend. Bad bets. A couple of bad for the books worth noting. NBA playoffs, we got to talk here. The favorites, 9-2 over the weekend. The Celtics won and covered on Friday. The Suns won and covered on Sunday. And that was it for the dogs. That's never good for the house when the favorites come through and all the parlays come through. There was heavy Clippers money, wise guy money in both games in Dallas. Very different series now than when it went to Dallas, isn't it? And of course, on Sunday, Arizona snapped a 12-game skid. That's supposed to be great for the books. Except for that, the wise guys pounded the D-backs yesterday. Cards open -120. Arizona closed -115, -120. So even though the public was on St. Louis, all the sharp money came for the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday. And that, not a great result for the house. So there you have it, Prez. Bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. Back to you, my friend.
Thank you, Teddy Covers. And, well, it's time for Marco D'Angelo. Mr. D'Angelo, you, my friend, are on a 40-16 run ATS NBA. 40 wins, 16 losses. Dude, that is absolutely outstanding. Thank God it's not 40-0, or you'd still be talking right now. It would never end. But welcome to WagerTalk Today. And you know what? To honor you, Marco, I'm having chicken wings tonight. Oh, yes, I
am. You never go wrong with chicken wings as a choice there. And, Teddy, for you and your bad beat segment, you brought up both series, but really the magnitude of the Yankees getting swept and the Dodgers getting swept on the same weekend. All the guys that do the old martingale, where they double up on, a team like that. I know there's somebody in Vegas that thinks he's really famous that probably lost several well plays over the weekend with those two outcomes. And I just have to chuckle. I'm sorry. I find it amusing, guys that chase that.
So Marco, I got to jump in before Teddy gets his second wind. Teddy moved to Vegas a long, long time ago. And I think on his first day or within like hours of landing, he heads over to the roulette table, black and red, decides to attempt the martingale. You want to finish the story? Or did I screw that up?
It's not. This is well before I moved to Vegas. This is early on in the gambling. And I wasn't doing black and red. I was playing one number. The whole strategy was one number on the inside till it hits, and you keep going and going and going. I went broke the time it didn't hit for 216, and I was betting 200. I think the limits were 200 a spin on the inside, and that was the first bankroll that I had that I busted. Early 90s.
What? Wait a minute. You played the number 216 times, and it never showed up.
Correct.
How long? I mean, how many was that?
Hours. I mean, so I played the system multiple times before. It wasn't like this was the first time I played it. That was you start out, you're betting $10 on the inside, then you're upping 15, 20 every 5 rolls. It doesn't hit you up. In theory, it's a bad system. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. In 1992, I thought it was an okay system, perhaps. Yes. And it worked for me a couple times, and I'd gone deep in the hole and gotten out of it a couple of times. Until the one time that it crashed and burned and it cost me 10 dimes. And I was, sitting there, what do I do now? Yes, happened. True story.
There you go. Yeah. And I remember actually texting you about 4 from about 212 when I'd said, oh, sorry, Teddy. You're like, what are you sorry for? You're like, what are you sorry for? I'm like, well, I know the next 4 ain't going to work. So I want to apologize ahead of time. I'm only helping. I swear. I'm just helping. It's $9 Mondays, everybody. Teddy's in action. I'm in action. I've got a 5% play up tomorrow, but you guys can take advantage of it today, $9 Mondays. Teddy, you're in play with a baseball game, right?
1 MLB, 1 NBA for tonight.
Yeah, $9. And Marco D'Angelo, he's $19 only because he's so good. Marco. What do you got in action tonight?
We've got an NBA play tonight. We're going to put that 40-16 run together and test it tonight and see. I got to try to keep pace with my man Teddy there. And it's deja vu, Teddy. It's almost like it's 2010 again, huh? When we both were on massive runs. That was a magical year. every day.
Oh,
and
God.
I didn't know Teddy as well as I know him now. And, damn, I can't shake this guy. We went through that baseball season.
So you're telling me it's been 11 years since the two of you have both been on a massive run together. We need to.
No, it was the magical year.
Teddy, we have a meeting at 3 p.m. today. Marco, 4 p.m. We are going to re-examine your employment situation. Let's get into it. Cincinnati, Miley Cyrus on the mound, minus 108 and 8.5 on tap. Marco, this game goes in almost 2 hours. Talk to us.
Well, I'm going to look at the Philadelphia Phillies in this one, and you look at the Reds. They did score 5 runs yesterday, guys, but prior to scoring the 5 runs yesterday, in their previous 7 games, they had only topped 3 runs once. Wade Miley, since the no-hitter, has pitched more like Miley Cyrus. He got bombed in the next one. No surprise there off of the no-hitter. But he did rebound last time out. However, he only went 4 2/3 innings, couldn't get out of the 5th inning. Velasquez, he's made 6 starts this year. In all 6 outings, he's given up 3 runs or less. And in his last 4 starts, he's given up 1 run or less. Guy is in a groove right now. Also, you got the Reds returning home from a road trip. You know I like to step in front of those teams that first game back at home. That's going to go ahead and put me on Philadelphia. But here's the clincher. This is Memorial Day. It is an afternoon game. The Cincinnati Reds, last 2+ seasons, just 39 and 63 when playing a day game. I'll go ahead and take Philadelphia for this one.
So I want to ask you about Velasquez. This is a guy who has been a pretty steady fade pitcher for me over the years. His last winning season before this year came in 2016. Every year his ERA is in the 5 range. The advanced metrics aren't any better. Is Velasquez just a correction waiting to happen? Or is this a legitimate change for a hurler who's been mediocre at best throughout the entirety of his MLB career?
Yeah, Teddy, this is a guy that, again, our good friend Brian Leonard or Dave Koken, they see these guys, the prospects that come up. I remember when he first come up, there was a lot of hoopla with him that he was going to be the real deal. And as you said, never really materialized. So far this year, he has been solid all year. I know everybody likes to go, hey, this guy, they're waiting for the other shoe to fall. Regression's coming. But you know what? You sit there and some of these guys just finally find it. And you keep stepping in front of them, waiting for them to revert to the form that they were in previous years, and it doesn't come. We talk about it all the time. Baseball is a sport of streaks. And right now, this guy is on one hell of a streak pitching-wise. No reason to step in front of him until he shows us that he's going the other way. I'm not going to try to guess when that's going to happen. He hasn't shown it yet, so I'm riding him.
It's worth noting, just one, I don't mean to jump in, Prez, but I got to. Velasquez, for his career, has a 73.4% left on base rate. This year, a 94.1% left on base. Batting average on balls in play for his career, 312. This year, batting average on balls in play, 228. So a couple of stats from Velasquez that indicate regression may be coming. His fielding and independent pitching, 2 runs higher than his ERA right now. Prez?
Great stuff, guys. Both of you, a privilege to be doing the show with you, Marco. Let's get into the Boston-Houston game. Boston minus 110. It's 9 on tap here. This should be a doozy of a baseball game if you like baseball. Marco, what are you betting?
Well, I'm going to take the Houston side here, but I'm also going to give you a big stat as far as the total goes. Let's start with this game and the reason why I'm on Houston. This is all about going against Rodriguez for Boston. He has been an absolute train wreck. His last 3 starts, he's got an ERA of 7.80. His whip over those 3 games is 1.86, meaning he's putting on almost 2 base runners an inning. When you're doing that, bad things are going to happen, and they have been happening. with him. And then once he leaves the game, you get into the Boston bullpen, and that's, not always the best of situations either. I look at Houston. Their starter's been brilliant in his last four, an ERA of 1.52 last four starts. However, there is a little asterisk to that, is he has not pitched since May 12th. Short stint on the injured list, had inflammation in his shoulder. However, they've deemed him 100% healthy and ready to go. And, with a young pitcher, you're not going to risk injury if he's not ready. So that doesn't bother me coming off the injured list. And I am going to go ahead and take Houston in this one with the decisive edge on the pitching. But here's the stat I was talking about. The Houston Astros, if you want to look at the total, when the line is between the 25s, meaning a competitive game, plus 125 to minus 125, this season, the Astros have gone over the total in 17 of 21 games. That's a pretty significant stat. I like Houston, and I like the Houston side over. And if they have a pitch count on the Houston starter, first start off the injured list, you're going to go into a bullpen that, is Teddy talked about. There was a lot of runs scored this weekend in the Houston series. So the pitching staff has gotten its work. That would favor the total in the late innings. So Houston and over for me.
So I want to ask you about Urquidy here coming off the injured list. He had, one rehab start. And from all indications, he seems to be fine. He was in excellent form before he went on the IL. But let me ask you about your approach. With pitchers coming off the injured list, they're not likely to go deep into games. Does that worry you for the Astros side this evening?
Well, if you wanted to take an insurance policy, this would definitely be a candidate, Teddy, where you might want to look at the first 5 innings in this game, because I do feel you have a decisive edge with the 2 starting pitchers and take the bullpen out of the equation. As far as injured pitchers go, now the short injured stay like this one, where, this is basically the minimum that you could be on the injured list and come back and make a start. I don't have a decisive philosophy with those. However, when it's an extended rehab stint, I really do like the injured pitcher in the first start, a veteran pitcher, because these guys know how to get back to the bigs. They're focused for that first start, especially if they've had a long rehab where all they've thought about is getting back. And I like to take those pitchers in their first start back.
Marco Flaherty on the mound. I took him last week, and it didn't go well for me. We have a 6.5 on tap between the Dodgers and St. Louis. I know you like the over or under. Why don't you tell us which way you're going?
Well, I like the under, Prez, and I did send my plays in for the show overnight. This line was 6.5 overnight. It is now 7, and that's based off of looking at these two teams and what they've done over the weekend. If you were holding under tickets in any of the games involving these two teams over the weekend, you didn't have a profitable weekend because all of the games went over the total. And again, yesterday, so we saw the market move to 7, which is huge because now I like this at 6.5. I got to get to 8 before I lose this wager. And I'm looking at this one. And if you look at the pitchers here, you've got the Dodgers with Trevor Bauer. This is a guy that's pitching very well. And it's also a guy that goes deep into games. That's something we don't see a lot of anymore, which is key when you're dealing with a team that used a lot of bullpen over the weekend. So I like this game for a low-scoring game as far as Bauer being on the mound. And then I look at Jack Flaherty, and he's pitched well also, as you mentioned. So I've got 2 pitchers in good current form. And if you look at the weekend series, because those 2 were high-scoring series, it makes sense. St. Louis played in Arizona. The ball carries very well there. Arizona has been, what they have, 12, 13-game losing streak finally snapped yesterday. They've been horrible. So it doesn't surprise me that the games went over. Now, maybe the Dodgers and San Francisco series was a surprise with all of the overs, but that's a division series. That is, those teams face each other how many times a year? So you're familiar with both pitchers. This is a case where St. Louis doesn't get to see Trevor Bauer. In fact, they've only faced him twice, and you got to go back 2019 and 2015 because he's coming over from the American League. That's another added advantage to this game being an under. I like this under. I'll take it under 7, and that is my play here, going with that one. And guys, Trevor Bauer, if you just look at all of his games the last 2 seasons, 18-5 to the under, blindly. I'll take the under here with the inflated total going to 7.
Are you worried all about Flaherty? Because it looks like the markets are worried about Flaherty. I mean, this total didn't just move from 6.5 to 7. It's moved from 6.5 to 7 minus 20 in a lot of spots right now, and it may move to 7.5. And I think the markets are saying we don't trust Flaherty. After
of course they don't. But how, to me, that's just, silly because Flaherty's made 10 starts this season. He's got an ERA of 2.84, which is very solid ERA. And his whip, more importantly, 1.07. Very good whip. I don't know. Flaherty's one of those guys where the market never likes him. But yet he goes out there and gives you a solid game almost every start. I'm not worried about Flaherty. I know the market does. I know the sabermetrics guys don't like him, but you know what? I look at, I still like to look at the old school numbers, and they still put up the scoreboard the same way. They don't put the sabermetric numbers up for the final score. And you know what? When he pitches, I see what I see, and that's where I'm at, buddy.
Marco D'Angelo, everyone. Marco, again, congratulations on an outstanding NBA run, 40 and 16 ATS, and also just an outstanding 2021 all around, man. You have really been so consistent since January 1st this year. You're just winning on an almost daily basis. We love having you on. You have a baseball tonight, right?
No, NBA.
40 and 16 runs. So get Marco's NBA play. It's $9 Mondays over at WagerTalk.com. Dude, get the hell out of here. We're going to be right back with Teddy Covers' Big Game Breakdown and my penalty box segment.
7 days of all access, any handicapper, every play, all for $77. Grab this special now as it expires Monday, Memorial Day at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. That includes MLB, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, soccer, golf, and even motor racing. Complete coverage with complete convenience as you receive an email immediately once your handicap releases a play, allowing you to get the best of the line. Just use coupon code FLAG77. Have an existing all access? We have you covered, as the 7 days will be added to the end of your current subscription. Best of all, this special is not limited to 1 per customer. Try as many cappers as you would like each day for only $11 per day.
It is time for today's Big Game Breakdown. Let's talk a little NBA and the association. Tonight, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, I'm seeing the Utah Jazz minus 5.5. Most books, there's a couple of 6s starting to pop up. Total 225. We are seeing a little bit of over money in this game, 225.5s popping up as well. I don't know that I'm willing to take Memphis for the full game here, but I do like Memphis early. First quarter, plus 1.5. First half, plus 2.5. Why? Because of the quotes. That's why. All right. Yes, the Jazz back-to-back games where they've hit 19 3-pointers and back-to-back comfortable wins over the Grizzlies. Although Memphis made it a real interesting game. In game 3, Utah ends up winning by double digits at the end. Here's a quote. Dylan Brooks, we got to be ready to come in and play desperate. Agreed. Taylor Jenkins, Grizzlies head coach, spent a lot of time talking to his team and about the media and to the media about how Utah's been opening the game. They scored 34 points in the first quarter. They led by 12. Through 3 playoff games, the Jazz plus 28 against the Grizz in the first quarter. They made 16 threes in the first quarter compared to only 3 for Memphis. Jenkins, quote, "This is 3 obvious games. 2 in the regular season, 1 here, where they come out and blitz you. A lot of it was just breakdowns. Obviously, they made some shots. But we had way too many game plan breakdowns in that first quarter." Jaren Jackson Jr., quote, "We got to step up to the challenge, and we love doing that. It's a must win." And that's worth noting. If Memphis doesn't win the game tonight, we go back to Utah. I don't know that it bodes well for the Grizzlies in that game 5. But at least for the first half of this one, first quarter, first half, I'm expecting the Grizz to come out and play like their hair is on fire. Utah, not so much. So give me the Grizzlies first quarter plus 1.5. First half plus 2.5. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy Covers. Great stuff. Memphis is yours. Want to thank everybody for joining us, Teddy. I just love this, seeing these same guys in day in, Yoshi, Big Daddy, Abid. It's so great. I mean, it's like a big Wager Talk family, and we really appreciate it, everybody. But we are asking you to please hit that like button. Tell your friends about us. We're at 71.3K subscribers to our channel. We'd really like to get to 100,000 soon, so help us out, everybody. Be part of the team. A friend of mine, I got a little bit tipsy on Friday night. She's like, when I said be part of the team, she stood up. She's like, "I'm part of the problem." She meant to say solution. Oh my God, was that fun? We were crying with laughter. Anyway, tomorrow's show, Tony M. He's joining us. Dave Sharapan and Mahia. Dave Sharapan as well. And we'll have a third guest too, Steve Merrill on Wednesday. Everybody, you guys have a monster Memorial Day. But now it's time, Teddy. It is time for the segment that dwarfs the big game breakdown, 700-1. It's time for the penalty box. Well, hello, everyone. It's me, the Prez, Lawrence Presman. It's Monday. It's the penalty box segment time. And before we get into it, because there are not a lot of games to talk about, I just want to let everyone know I watch a shit ton of TV during winter and fall, but I read books in the summertime. And I found a new book, a new author that I'm absolutely loving. I read a lot of these assassin books. I've read them all. I've read every Robert Ludlum. Mitch Rapp is my favorite assassin of all time. I've read The Gray Man, which is coming out as a Netflix series, Ryan Gosling. I've read all the Scott Horvath books. Anyway, Bradley Wright, the Xander King series, I highly recommend it. Start at the beginning, Whiskey and Roses, absolutely spectacular. Teddy, I got so many picks to give out. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say I will bet minus 225 on the Leafs to win tonight. I will not. If I was not a fan and I had to bet this game tonight, I would likely take Montreal at plus 1.5 goals. But I'm not doing that either, because I'm going to cheer like a freaking lunatic for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight without putting a bet on the game. But here are my bets for tonight's hockey game, and I am betting these plays. Leafs to score before the 15:30 mark, minus 120, yes. Montreal to not score in the first at the 15:30 mark, minus 180, no score. So yes to the Leafs scoring, no to Montreal scoring by the 15:30 mark. Matthews 2 or more goals at plus 450. Josh Anderson over 2.5 shots at plus 120. Matthews over 4.5 shots at -130. And the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA. Buzz me, baby! Oh, my daughters can't stand my pit stains. Just want to make mention to that. They're like, you are disgusting, Dad. Why old pit stains? I'm like, I got like 100 lights shining down on me, and that's not even including the lights in the room. Take us home, Teddy.
Yeah, put on a tie and see how many pit stains you get. You know, when you have to do the show in front of the real lights in the real studio, your pit stains are something to behold. That said, enough pit stain talk. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with us on Memorial Day. We're going to do it again tomorrow. I want to thank Marco D'Angelo, of course, my co-host Lawrence Presman. I want to thank Dan, our newest employee, and of course, Joe behind the scenes. I want to thank you guys out there in viewerland. Enjoy the games today and good luck. We'll do it again. Same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. Noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. here on the left coast. Between now and then, enjoy the games, enjoy the barbecues, and good luck.
Seven days of all access, any handicapper, every play, all for $77. Grab this special now as it expires Monday, Memorial Day at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. That includes MLB, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, soccer, golf, and even motor racing. Complete coverage with complete convenience as you receive an email immediately once your handicap releases a play, allowing you to get the best of the line. Just use coupon code FLAG77. Have an existing all access? We have you covered, as the 7 days will be added to the end of your current subscription. Best of all, this special is not limited to one per customer. Try as many cappers as you would like each day for only $11 per day.